Hello, I'm Hava Volterra, and this is Kitchen Smarts. Melody Miranda is the culinary director of Sodexo's Good Eating Company, and someone I've known for over 4 years through Sodexo's use of parsley. But we never really got to sit down and talk about what she does and how she manages such an important role. So I was delighted when she agreed to record a podcast with me and give me and you a peek into her world. I hope you enjoy it. Melody has a very big job. She is the culinary director for Good Eating Company. Good Eating Company is a part of Sodexo, and they manage corporate cafeterias in the U.S., large corporate cafeterias, including Google cafeterias, Broadcom, LinkedIn, and as many of you listening might know, that's a big job. There are high requirements for quality, variety, choice that need to be fulfilled. So I'm thrilled to have you here, Melody, and I wanted to find out first of all how you got to this job. So where you
Um,
started.
Started by accident in the corporate world. I answered a newspaper ad a long time ago for something called the Five-Star Cafe, and I walked in and realized that was the name of the cafe inside of Intel in their corporate cafe in Folsom, California. So it was a whole new world to me that I had no idea existed previously. Um, but started as a temp worker, which I also didn't know at the time, and started as the assistant catering cook under the catering chef. And then from there, I worked kind of around all the different stations, the grill, the saute, the action, the global pizza, and even created my own cake decorating station for catering as well. So back then, I have a secret talent for cake decorating. Um, yeah, so after I just worked my way up after that, and kind of fast forward to now. Here I am.
Um, and so did you start in the culinary world? Like, did your career start in the culinary world? Did you always know you wanted to be a chef? Like, how did that form in your mind?
I didn't always know, but all of my jobs since my first job at 14 had something to do with food. So my first job was at a bed and breakfast inn in the country, way up in the country where I grew up, in Georgetown, California. Um, and I was cleaning rooms and, doing stuff like that for guests. It was like a 15-room bed and breakfast. It was very big. Um, and then I started helping in the kitchen for breakfast. I always cooked at home a little bit too. My mom and dad both cooked a lot for us. So I'd play restaurant at home too. So it was kind of there all along. I never had that,
Mhm.
I'm going to be a chef one day. But kind of everything led up to it, and it just happened. It was organic.
I see. Okay. No, that's cool. That's interesting. So so what does a culinary director do? I mean, I should
Everything.
know, but I honestly don't totally know. So,
Yeah. I mean, there is no day to day, schedule that I know what's going to happen every single time. It's different every day, which is part of why I love it and I'm still doing it. It's never boring. I always say that. Never ever boring my job. So for example, today, behind me is our new open to the public restaurant in San Jose, Papi and Claro. So we're doing the soft opening this week, and then the ribbon cutting and uh, full opening next week. So there's lots of events going on, friends and family today. Still more R&D and getting some kinks out. So that's what I'm doing this week. Um, and then I'll be back next week for the ribbon cutting. But a few weeks ago, I was in London, in where GEC was born, Good Eating Company, and kind of checking out how they do things over there, what it looks like, what their offer is, and how can we be more synergetic, is that the word,
mhm.
between the UK and the US. So I met with my counterpart over there, Chef Max, and we're starting to strategize um, on some synergies. So that was a few weeks ago. Sometimes I get to work in the home office because there's also a lot of, administrative stuff to do. I'm working on a Good Eating Company catalog that's just for us. That is the items and the specifications and quality of products that we want to procure for our menus in our restaurants. So I'm also kind of the lead on what we what we buy, how we buy, who we buy it from. So all kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah, yeah. No, so your ingredient standards. So
Mhm.
so you're also involved in menu development, like what will be offered, recipe development.
Yes, anything to do
Yeah.
with food and beverage, I touch it in some way for sure. Um, the chefs in our restaurants are able to write the menus themselves. We give them that freedom, and hence the reason why we are using Parsley, um, because the chefs are able to at unit level plug in their own recipes. Now we do have a small team that checks those recipes on the back end before we push them all the way through to make sure everything is correct in the data and nutrition and all of that. But unlike other corporate food service companies, I'm not sure, but I don't think that most of the other companies let their chefs do that at unit level. So
Hmm.
that's a big thing for us when we say we're chef led. We really are.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting because we call Parsley software for chefs, so we do put them first.
Yeah, yeah, and it's amazing.
Yeah,
We've done a lot with you and Parsley, so we appreciate
same here,
it.
for sure, for sure. So what does it take to run an exceptional corporate cafeteria? I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of parameters, but what is greatness here?
Takes so much, so much. Attention to detail for sure.
Hmm.
Um, Listening to your guests, your client, their needs, their wants. You know, don't menu in things that don't make sense for your demographic. Um, so you've got to do
Interesting.
some research first. And sometimes it's trial and error. You put stuff on the menu and no one wants it. That doesn't hardly ever happen, but it might be.
My follow-up question was, give me an example.
I don't know. Um, or and we listen. We give the guests a lot of leeway too. Like if they, and that's another good thing about being chef led and not having corporate recipes that are dictated to you. Because if the client or the guest wants a thing, we can give you the thing. So if they wanted, I can't remember, we do. One of our chefs does a fish head soup because he butchers his own fish and then he uses the tails and the heads to make fish head soup. I don't think that's in any corporate recipe database except for maybe
Right,
ours. So,
right.
um, yeah,
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah, that's cool, and it goes more towards fine dining for your customers. I mean,
sometimes, yeah, but sometimes not. Sometimes you just want a burger. But it's the best burger you've ever had.
yeah, yeah. You know what? I was going to say there's so so correct me if I'm wrong. Because I've thought a lot about what it takes to run a place that people will eat at every day, which is
Mhm.
different than a restaurant. Okay, today I want Italian, tomorrow I want Indian, but you run corporate cafeterias where you want people to come there and be happy every day. So it's different. First of all, they have to have variety. They have to have maybe their comfort foods. I'm getting ahead
Mhm.
of. Tell me, yeah, tell me.
Yeah, most of our corporate dining cafes, the menu changes every single day, and we have one cafe that has 12 different stations. So if you do the
Wow,
math, it's
wow,
usually two dishes per station minimum because we want a vegan or vegetarian option, an animal
right,
protein option. So two dishes a day times 12 stations times 5 days times 30 days in a, in a
yeah,
month.
yeah,
Um, and that particular client does not want anything to repeat. Now we do have, say at the grill, we do have a burger every day. We do have a turkey sandwich every day for the people who are looking for those types of things. But even on the pizza station, it's not the same pizza every day. You got
Right.
specials there. You have Indian food, you have sushi, and the sushi special changes daily. So it's a lot to keep up with. It's a lot to keep up with food costs and making sure that the menu mix is good for not only the guests but also the budget.
Right. Of course.
Um, yeah, and then making sure that your staff can actually execute what you write is a big job, really big job. So being able to teach is huge for our chefs.
Hmm.
Being able to learn because you have to know a little bit about everything, a little
Right.
bit about, Asian cuisine, a little bit about, and you hire the people who are maybe more expert than you in those particular cuisines. So
Right.
they can execute it. You kind of help them get there.
That's interesting. Yes. I mean, I know from experience that when you have people cooking something different every day, they can't. It's not like a restaurant where you can get into the habit and you can do it
Hmm.
over and over again. It's always the same, and
Yeah.
you don't really, you don't need instructions after a while because you know it. It's only the new people who need instructions. But if you're changing your
Hmm.
menu all the time, people need to look at instructions. They
Yeah.
they need
Yeah. And
to,
so
yeah, and not
the
assume.
chefs do a lot of running around and point check, point check, point check, and go to each cook and making sure that they're comfortable in what they're doing, that everything's tasting good, that it's on time. You don't want to be late for lunch. Hungry
Right.
people, they'll get hangry
So-
on you. Um,
right.
but yeah, so there's a lot, and then our chefs too. We also really expect them to be on the floor during service, so not hiding behind the kitchen, which is different than a restaurant as well.
Hmm.
Talking to the guests, how's it going? What do you like? What do you not like? And just
Hmm.
being there to also explain, people that have allergens. If someone
Right.
has a really adverse reaction to sesame, for example, let's guide them to where they can actually go and eat safely. Um,
Right.
just dietary preferences in general, so they can talk to the chef about those types of things. And also, we make sure that our line team is educated on those things too. But of course, the chef's the lead on all of that.
Right. Okay. So how many chefs do you have per kitchen?
That's
Many?
a great question. It depends on the population, on the client, how much money they wanted to spend on the program.
Right. Yeah.
So this particular one that I've been talking about with the 12 different stations, they have three chefs on site. The lead chef is an area chef that oversees few different kitchens. Um, and then there's a chef, executive chef one and executive chef three that kind of run things if he's not there. And help with the ordering and the menu planning and the training of the staff and keeping things running. But not every, again, depending on the size, sometimes we only have one. And then if it's really small, we have something called a chef GM, which I was at one point in my life. Also not for me.
Okay.
So
You
yeah,
rotated.
yeah, yeah.
So so how have diners' food taste changed over the years? Like what is different between now and 5 years ago, 10 years ago? Mm.
Um, I think there's always that kind of rotating diet fad. It was paleo, it was keto. I just heard yesterday someone said that they're keto. I thought that was kind of off the off the list, but maybe not. So I just think that those kind of special diets differ throughout the years depending on what's going on. And it's important to keep on top of it because that's what people are doing. That's what they want to eat. So you've got to make sure you have something for everyone. You don't want to exclude anyone from being able to have a good meal. So it's important to keep up on those things.
So is there a specific thing you feel you need to emphasize these days?
These days, let's see. I know there's some new ones out there that I really don't know much about. But I think the high protein, uh, not no carb or low carb really, but the no simple carbs. I think high protein, complex carbs, and whole foods, things like that. I think is just really popular, and that's kind of what our philosophy is anyway. As Good Eating Company, those types of things. Um,
Yeah.
so it kind of fits, but um, yeah, we also have a dietitian that's on our team that falls under me as well. that helps us with looking at the recipes, making sure they're all correct, and helping us with those kind of dietary things as well. That if we're short on some recipes or
Hmm.
menu items that might be popular at the time, he'll let us know and we can have some of the chefs work on that.
Yeah. Okay. Um, yeah, I can imagine that's tricky, and it's a balance of these recipes. I mean, I'm very aware of high protein because it has penetrated my consciousness. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
So
for
I
sure. And
can't
I'm one
help
of
but
those
think
people.
about that.
I'm doing the high protein, no simple carb, high fiber. I think it's important too. If you ask our nutritionist, that's one of his things is like no one gets enough fiber. So yeah,
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I actually talked with him just a few yeah, last week, I think.
Sam, he's great.
Sam. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Um so I wonder, I had a prepared meal company after being an engineer for many years. So, and I think one of the things that surprised me was how stressful food preparation is, because things have to come out right. They have to come out on time. Can't make, like, you can't flub it.
Hmm.
And let's say in software, well, sometimes there are emergencies, but mostly, okay, it doesn't work. Let's fix this. Let's fix that. And then there are emergencies, obviously, but usually, I'll just work a few more hours and I'll fix it. But with cooking, you can't, because, like you said, lunch is lunch. It has to be ready.
Someone's waiting for you. If you
Yeah.
burn the cookies, it doesn't take 2 seconds to make another another batch
Yeah,
of cookies. Takes a
exactly.
while. So yeah.
Yeah. So maybe I've kind of answered your question, but what do you find the most difficult part of your job? Because I know you're not doing that day to day right now.
Hmm. My job in particular, or
Hmm.
someone in the kitchen. My job, the most difficult. The most difficult. That is a great question. Actually, I mean, for me right now, it's the procurement side of it.
Oh,
Um, we're we want to stay true to who we are, but when you're working for such a larger corporation company, um, it takes longer than usual because we are so large to get things done, right? So it's a constant, and we're working on it a little bit more in detail right now, but it's a constant challenge to find and keep those items for us to order sometimes.
hmm.
Um, but we always get it. We always get what we need. So
What do you mean for you to find and keep those items, to have approval that you could use them? Is that what you mean?
yeah,
Or
yeah. We have a lot of safety protocols during in the food chain to make sure
sure.
that what we're serving is safe for everyone. No one's going to get sick, for there isn't any contamination. All of those things. So um, there's all that background work that goes into checking on these things, and it takes time. So if we want to onboard a new vendor, they have to be check their background, check their safety, make sure that their HACCP is up to you have a third party audit to make sure they're doing everything correctly. So I'm in the middle of doing that right now with a local bakery that's amazing here in the Bay Area. And it's been a while, so it's not like it just like,
I
but
see.
yes, we
Yeah.
can use this. I mean,
Yeah.
you could do that, but it wouldn't be the correct way to go about it. You just want to make sure that it's safe and they're doing the right things. And that's who you want to partner with, are people who are doing the right things, not only for food safety, but for the environment, for the animals that they're raising, for the earth, all of those things.
Yeah. 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 Of course, I can see that. Um, what is your, like, North Star to ensure that customers are satisfied? Like, what is the thing that you strive towards?
Um, I think maybe a couple things. Listening to them, number one,
Hmm.
because you can't just blindly make the menus and write how you want to eat. So listening to what the guests want and they're asking for, keeping on top of trends because it's fun to have fun with food too.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah,
So
yeah.
we've done TikTok trends and kind of those fun things too in our cafes. Um, it could be a pop up, it could be on a station someday, but just having fun and getting people like, ooh, what's this? And wanting them to come in again to be like, what are they doing next time? So those types of things.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's interesting. I hadn't thought about that, but of course, yeah, that makes sense. TikTok trends. I have
Those are
to
fun. Yeah,
Yeah. When someone like on
but you got
TikTok,
to
when
get them
someone
fast because
shows you
then the next one comes.
Okay. Are you the one who gets on TikTok to find that out, or do you have some s
I try to keep
does it
up.
feeds fed to you?
Sometimes the marketing people will tell us about some things, or sometimes another chef, or I am on Instagram a lot. I think more than any other platform, and so I'll follow our chefs, but
Mhm.
also the famous chefs, the more famous influencers, even if they're not chefs, but food influencers as well, just to try to keep on top of those things, and subscriptions to online magazines and things like
Yeah,
that that you have to read to keep up
yeah.
on.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I can totally see that. I mean, that's when I think of culinary director, I think a lot about that also, that you have to influence
Hmm.
what is being offered. Um, what do you find is common? What's different among corporate cafeterias in different parts of the US? I mean, I imagine are regional things, but I'm not sure what those regional things are.
Hmm.
Are there geographic
Um,
differences? And
pi- there definitely are. So with certain types of food, for example, pizza is different from California to the Midwest to New York, and even within it was in those regions, there's different types of pizzas that people want. Sandwiches. Californians don't go for sandwiches a lot, so we've cut out delis. Like there
interesting.
used to be a thing where a deli would be one of the stations in your restaurant, but they're not as popular. So what we'll do is like make little pre-made beautiful sandwiches, put them on like a like the salad bar, part of the salad bar, and then they can take a half a sandwich or a whole sandwich and mix and match if they want. But in going towards the Midwest and the East, they'll eat all the sandwiches. They love the sandwiches. Not to say no one eats them in California, but they're just less popular. Um,
Hmm.
I think those are like two huge ones. And then you get into like in the Silicon Valley here where I am now, it's such a diverse workforce, and people are coming from all over the world, and you have to
Yeah.
bring a little bit of home to them to sometimes to make them, feel at ease and, be relaxed at work. And we've done that over the years where people have commented like, this reminds me of home, and they're so happy. And uh, that's a really fun part of it to be able, and sometimes you're doing research and you're making something you've never made before, and it hits someone in that way and it makes you feel good.
I mean, what you immediately made me think of, so our director of customer success, who helps customers make sure they're using parsley properly, she's half Korean, and she talks of her comfort food as
Mhm,
kimchi. And I like kimchi, but it would never
mhm.
occur to me to think of it as comfort food. But like, if you want her to feel at
Yeah.
home, you offer Korean food, you offer kimchi. Certain,
Yeah.
yeah, I can totally see that. Okay, and so you have more of that, I guess, in probably in the coasts. You have more of that. Um, and
Yeah, for sure.
now I wonder, what was your experience during COVID? I mean, I guess part of your experience was things shut down, but maybe you had to do food to go. Is that what was going on? Must have been a
Yeah,
big
that was very
crisis.
interesting. Everything shut down for a while. Um, but one client in particular came back to 100% everyone at work um, very quickly. Um,
Okay.
they just couldn't stop. They couldn't stop what they were doing because of the business they were. So they were full on for a while, and I remember having to wear not only the mask, but the shield as well in the kitchen, and that was horrible. It was so hot. But we did it because everyone wanted to be safe. Um, I never was needing to, like, what am I going to do next? I don't have any work to do. There was always something still. So we took advantage of some of the time we had and did a lot of R&D and parsley recipe writing. During those times, it was quite a few months where we just did that, which was nice. We got a big chunk of things done um, during that time. Um, we actually, in order to save one of our pastry chef's jobs, because he's amazing and he's still with us now, we created a pastry commissary that we call Bliss,
Uh-huh.
and
Oh,
started having
nice.
everyone, like, he made homemade cookie dough, cakes, specialty things, specialty items, homemade English muffins, and things like that that everyone in the Bay Area can buy from him. So we would buy the cookie dough, bake them fresh in our cafes, and then have nice homemade delicious cookies fresh from the oven. So, and we still have Bliss to this day. So that came out of COVID. Um, if COVID didn't
That's very
happen, I don't
cool.
think that would have been created. Yeah, it's interesting.
Uh-huh.
So kept busy.
And now and now it seems to me that the back to the office trend has gone, all the way. Is that like you have that feeling too? The corporate cafeterias are getting fuller and fuller. Is that correct or
Yeah,
not so much?
definitely getting fuller. It's interesting to me that the corporations, the companies, not all of them have mandated 100% back to work 5 days a week still. They're
Hmm.
like, okay, you need to come in at least 3 days. And that's so strange because I'm like, just tell them it's like you pay their paycheck, tell them to come in for 5 days a week if you wanted to. But some people aren't doing that. And it's kind of a competitive thing. Like, oh, if I don't have to come in 2 out of the 5 days, I'm going to choose this company because I can be home and work. So it's still a struggle to get people back to work, I think, 5 days.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, this is a difference with things like culinary where you have to be there and in reality things like software, sometimes you do get a lot of work done at home when no one's bothering you.
Hmm.
So it
Yeah.
depends. Yeah. Um, yeah. The 3 days seems to be quite quite common and is probably going to stick around in certain parts of
Hmm.
industry. So what
Yeah.
next? What do you see next? You're opening a restaurant, so this is unusual, right? Should I include
Yeah,
that?
it's actually our third in the US, our third open to the public restaurant. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Oh, okay.
so we have two now in San Jose and one in Chicago.
Okay.
Chicago was our first one.
Okay.
So
Okay.
they are all three of them, they are multi-tenant buildings, so still a corporate setting technically. But they also happen to be open to the public. So anyone that, comes in off the street or hears of us can come in and have an amazing lunch. The one that's behind me right here that we're soft opening today is has a full bar. It was fun helping to choose some of the beverages and the spirits that go with that. I had a car full of liquor the other day. It was a fun thing. I guess that's a fun story too. I've had my car full of all different kinds of items. So I had my car packed with liquor this week. One time we were rescuing artichokes from a farmer who their buyer backed out. So I had
Oh,
40 cases of artichokes filling my car one time, packed. That's
okay.
as many as I could
Big
fit.
car, I
So
was
we
gonna
rescued
say. Yeah.
artichokes that otherwise would have maybe not have been
Uh-huh.
sold. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then one year, a long time ago, when we were doing a free lunch for one of our accounts, it was for 2,500 people. So it was during Halloween time, around this time, and we did a Halloween themed lunch. And I got Halloween candy for the dessert, and I had a trunk full of Halloween candy. I had about two shopping carts full, and still had to come back and get more, but that was fun. So yeah, just interesting cars full of things.
Yeah. Okay, I was gonna say at least keep those bags closed because if I have an open bag of candy and I'm in a traffic jam, that's not gonna
Hmm.
last.
Oh yeah, watch out.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Anything else you'd like to talk about or that I should have asked you?
A big one for me that we've been working on right now that I love to talk about, and kind of brag about is our regenerative initiative. So we have promised by the end of this year to have 15% of our spend be on regenerative agriculture, our food spend. And we're looking like we're going to hit that in California for sure. So we're very excited. Um, and
Yeah.
that's supporting again people who are doing things the right way, doing the right thing. So regenerative agriculture is everyone knows kind of about sustainability and sustainable agriculture, but this is more than that. So it's not only sustaining the earth and the soil and things like that, but it's regenerating it. So it's actually making the soil better than it was when they got there. Um,
Mhm.
uh, just a small example. So we're trying to grow that as much as possible. Again, it's a little tougher to source those things, so we're working with our produce company, with the farmers, with uh, some aggregators, and getting that all together so we can get those into our cafes as well.
No, I find that very cool. That is very cool. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate you taking the time out. Like I said,
Yeah,
culinary is stressful and you're right in the middle
of
of something.
course.
So I really appreciate it.